I used to think nothing could surprise me. I'd seen storms tear apart cities, fires swallow entire hillsides, and the slow, quiet decay of places once full of life. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared me for the day the trees began to speak. It all started when the chemical plant on the outskirts of town went up in flames. A thunderous explosion, like the world was splitting open, echoed through the valley. The fire burned for 3 days straight, a pillar of black smoke climbing into the sky. The news warned us, said the air was toxic, that the smoke was laced with hundreds of compounds not even the experts could identify. We were told to stay inside, to seal our windows. By the 4th day, the wind shifted. It carried that burning chemical haze right into the forest that bordered our town. At first, no one thought much of it. Trees had survived worse, right? They'd survived droughts, pests, pollution. We just assumed they'd survived this. But within a week, the forest changed. It started subtle. The leaves, instead of turning brown from the toxic air, began to shimmer with this strange, unnatural iridescence, like oil spilled on water. You'd see it when the light hit just right. Then the bark of some trees began to pulse, a faint, rhythmic movement, as if something just beneath the surface was moving, breathing. And then the forest grew quiet, a profound, heavy quiet. No birdsong, no insects buzzing. Just a heavy, listening silence that felt like it was pressing in on you from all sides. I live right on the edge of that forest. My father was a lumberman. He spent his whole life among those trees. We used to joke that the trees knew his footsteps, that they whispered about him whenever he passed by. He's gone now, but I still walk the same path he used to, or at least I did, until that day. It was early morning. The mist was still hanging low between the trunks. I first heard it then. A sound, low and guttural, somewhere between a deep sigh and a whisper. I froze mid-step. The air was perfectly still, but every tree around me seemed to lean in just a little closer, as if listening with me. I tried to rationalize it, told myself it was just the wind, my mind playing tricks on me. But then I heard it again. A voice. It was soft, feminine, and felt ancient. It seemed to come from the very air around me. "Why do you keep taking?" it asked. My blood ran cold. I stumbled back, my heart pounding against my ribs, scanning the woods frantically, but there was no one there, only the trees stretching endlessly into the morning haze. And then the roots shifted. I swear they moved. The ground trembled beneath my feet, and I saw the dirt crack as a thick root snaked just below the surface. I didn't wait for a second invitation. I ran like I'd never run before, not looking back until the trees were just a dark line against the horizon. By the next week, the news stations started picking it up. It wasn't just me anymore. There were reports of strange, accelerated growth patterns. Tree roots were breaking through roads, wrapping around houses like giant pythons. And then came the first disappearance. A logger, a friend of my father's, went in to clear a fallen oak from a trail. He never came back. They found his truck, still running, its door wide open, radio playing softly. But the woods had swallowed him whole. By the time the government got involved, it was already too late. The forest had doubled its size in less than a month. Massive branches grew overnight, breaking through fences, wrapping around power lines like green veins reclaiming a concrete body. People started evacuating. A convoy of military trucks rolled in, then fell silent. The town emptied out, one panicked family at a time. But I stayed. I couldn't bring myself to leave the house my father built with his own hands, the one surrounded by the very trees he once worked to cut down. There was a strange irony in it, and a part of me felt I had to see it through. Then, one night, the forest spoke again. This time it wasn't a whisper, it was a chorus. Thousands of voices, layered over one another, resonating through the earth itself, vibrating up through the floorboards. "We gave you air," they sang, a symphony of sorrow and rage. "You gave us fire. We gave you shelter. You built machines to tear us down. We gave you life. You took everything else." The sound came from everywhere, from inside my walls, from under the floor, from through the sealed windows. It was like the forest was inside the house with me. I screamed, a raw, terrified sound, but there was no one left to hear me. The next morning, the sky was dark. Not from clouds, but from spores, drifting down like green-tinted ash. Every surface was coated with a shimmering greenish film. The town was unrecognizable. The roads were completely gone, cracked open as massive roots broke through the pavement. And for the first time, I realized the terrifying truth. The forest wasn't just growing outward, it was reclaiming inward. Everywhere humanity had touched, it was reaching back, erasing our footprint. I finally tried to drive away. I threw what I could into my car and gunned it down what was left of my driveway. But the trees, they moved. They shifted like giant, silent walls closing in. Branches like skeletal fingers scraped across the car's roof, the metal groaning as if it were alive. Then, a root the size of a bus burst through the ground directly in front of me. It flipped my car like it was made of paper. When I woke up, I was lying among the leaves. The air was thick and sweet, almost cloying, and standing above me, or maybe growing above me, was a massive oak tree. But there was a face in its bark, not carved, formed. Its eyes, made of glowing sap, looked down at me. I knew that face. It was my father. The forest had taken him, and now it had taken everything. He looked at me, and though his wooden mouth didn't move, I heard his voice inside my head, tired and full of regret. "It's too late, child," he said. "We were warned." I don't know how long I've been here now. The days and nights blend together in the perpetual green twilight that filters through the canopy. The sun is a distant memory. Sometimes I hear the trees arguing amongst themselves, deep, rumbling debates about who's next, what part of the world to reclaim, what to forgive. And sometimes I think they still argue about me. Because even after all this time, they haven't decided if I'm one of them or one of you. Thanks for listening to my story. If you enjoy tales that explore the darker side of our world, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let me know in the comments what you would do if nature decided to fight back. Stay safe and stay curious.